Hello students, today we'll be starting with the chapter Relations and Functions. The concept of the term relation in mathematics has been drawn from the meaning of relation in English language, according to which two objects or quantities are related if there is a recognizable connection or link between the two objects or quantities. Now we already know from our knowledge of class 11 that if A and B are two sets, then their Cartesian product A cross B is defined as A cross B is equal to the set of all ordered pairs AB such that A belongs to A and B belongs to B. Now accordingly, the number of elements of A cross B would be the number of elements belonging to the set A into the number of elements belonging to the set B. Now, a relation from A to B is defined as a subset of the Cartesian product A cross B. So clearly, we can have as many relations from A to B as are the subsets of A cross B. That is 2 raised to the power of the number of elements in A cross B. So, if the number of elements in A is P and the number of elements in B is Q, then the number of elements in the Cartesian product A cross B would be P cross Q or P into Q. And so that the number of relations from A to B, which is also the number of subsets of A cross B, will be equal to 2 raised power of P into Q. Now similarly, we can define a relation from a set A to itself or simply a relation on the set A as a subset of the Cartesian product of A with itself. That is, now the Cartesian product of A with itself is defined as A cross A is equal to the set of all AB, ordered pairs AB, such that both A and B belong to the set A. Now in this chapter we'll be concentrating on relations on a set A. Okay, now let's see the types of relations now. Now we know that every set has at least two subsets, the empty set and the set itself, and thus the empty set phi and the set A cross A are the two extreme relations or also called as trivial relations. So let's do the definition of both these kind of relations. So definition 1 is empty relation. A relation R in a set A is called an empty relation if no element of A is related to any element of A. That is, if the relation R is equal to the empty set phi, which is a subset of A cross A. For example, if A is a set of all students in a boys' school, then the relation R in A given by R is equal to the set of all AB such that A is a sister of B is the empty relation since there are no girls in that school. Now, definition 2 is universal relation. A relation R in a set A is called a universal relation if each element of A is related to every element of A. That is, if R is the whole set A cross A. For example, in the above example which we have taken, if R is a relation defined by the set of all AB such that A and B are boys, then every A belonging to the given set A will be related to all B belonging to A, and so R is the entire set A cross A and is called a universal relation. Now we come to the next topic, which is equivalence relation. It is the most important relations in mathematics. Okay, now in order to study equivalence relations, we first consider the following 3 types of relations, that is reflexive, symmetric and transitive relations. A relation R in a set A is called reflexive if the ordered pair A comma A belongs to R for all small a belonging to capital A, that is, if A is related to A for all A belonging to capital A. It is said to be symmetric if the ordered pair AB belongs to R, implies that BA also belongs to R for A and B belonging to capital A. That is, whenever A is related to B, then B will also be related to A. Now here this is somehow different from reflexive. Reflexive is to be proved for all members belonging to A, whereas for symmetric it is only for those members of A for which A is related to B. We should have B should be also related to A. Same way we define the transitive relation as if A is related to B and B is related to C, then it should imply that A is related to C, where A, B, C belong to A, the set capital A. That is, whenever A is related to B and B is related to C, only then we check for A related to C. So we check for only those members A, B, C belonging to A for which the first two conditions are satisfied. Okay, so thus we see that there are three kinds of relations: reflexive, symmetric and transitive. Now we come to the next relation, which is equivalence relation. A relation R in a set A is said to be an equivalence relation if R is reflexive, symmetric as well as transitive. So let's see, do some examples. Let's take up an example that capital L be the set of all lines in a plane and R be a relation in the set capital L defined as R is equal to the ordered pairs L1, L2 such that L1 parallel L2. We have to show that that R is an equivalence relation. That is, we are required to show that it is reflexive, symmetric as well as transitive. So what we do is, let's start with reflexive. So let us take any arbitrary line small l belonging to the set L. Now we know that every line is parallel to itself, and since L is any arbitrary element belonging to the set, so this relation is true for all members of L, and so we conclude that R is reflexive since every element of L is parallel to itself. Now for symmetric, let us consider two lines L1, L2 such that L1 is related to L2. It implies that L1 is parallel to L2, which further implies that L2 is parallel to L1, and so L2 is also related to L1. Since L1 and L2 are arbitrary elements of L, it implies that whenever L1 is related to L2, it will imply L2 is related to L1, and so R is symmetric. Now let's come to transitive property. Let L1, L2 and L3 be three lines belonging to the set L such that L1 is related to L2 and L2 is related to L3. So this means that L1 is parallel to L2 and L2 is parallel to L3, which implies that L1 is parallel to L3, which further implies that L1 is related to L3. So we have seen that when L1 is related to L2 and L2 related to L3, it implies that L1 related to L3, and since these lines are arbitrary, it implies that R is transitive, and so R is an equivalence relation in L because it is reflexive, symmetric as well as transitive. Now let's take up another similar example that we have L is a set of all lines in a plane and R be a relation defined by L1, L2 such that L1 is perpendicular to L2. Now we have to show that it is symmetric but not reflexive or transitive. So let's try out. So reflexive. So we know that no line can be perpendicular to itself, and so it is not reflexive. Now symmetric, let L1, L2 be two lines such that L1 is related to L2, which implies that L1 perpendicular to L2, which further implies that L2 is perpendicular to L1. And this gives us L2 is related to L1. That is, if the ordered pair L1, L2 belongs to R, it implies that the order pair L2, L1 belongs to R, and it implies that R is symmetric. Now for transitive property, let us take three lines L1, L2, L3 such that L1 is related to L2 and L2 is related to L3, which implies that L1 perpendicular L2 and L2 perpendicular L3, which implies that L1 is not perpendicular to L3. In fact, L1 is parallel to L3. That is, we see that the two ordered pairs L1, L2, L2, L3 belong to L, but they do not imply that the ordered pair L1, L3 belongs to L. It implies that R is not transitive, and so R is not an equivalence relation, as it is only symmetric but not reflexive or transitive. Now, an important point to be noted is that in order to prove a property, we will prove it in general, whereas in order to disprove it, only one counter example is enough. Over here in the above example, though we showed it in general, we disproved a property in general, but usually in any question, even if we show one counter example, that is enough to disprove a property. And for that, let us take exercise 1.1, question number 2. We are given a relation R on the set of real numbers defined as AB such that A is less than or equal to B square. We have to prove that it is neither reflexive nor symmetric nor transitive. So we just take a counter example that we know that half belongs to a real number, but half is not less than or equal to half square, because half square is 1 by 4 and definitely half is not less than 1 by 4, and so half is not related to itself. So we have found one counter example which does not satisfy this relation, and so we say that the relation R is not reflexive. Similarly, for symmetric property, let us take two members 1 and 2, both of which are real numbers, and which also satisfy that 1 is related to 2, since 1 is less than 2 square. But this does not imply that 2 is also related to 1, since 2 is not less than 1 square, and so R is not symmetric. Now similarly, for transitive, let us take three numbers 1, minus 2 and half, which are all real numbers, and they are also such that they satisfy this transitive condition, the condition for the relation to be transitive. That is, 1 is related to minus 2, minus 2 is related to half, since 1 is less than minus 2 square and minus 2 is less than half square. But that does not imply that 1 is related to half, as 1 is not less than half square. And so this relation is not transitive, and so we can safely conclude that R is neither reflexive nor symmetric nor transitive. A similar question is question number 5, where we have to prove that the relation R on R defined as AB such that A is less than or equal to B cube is we have to check whether it is reflexive, symmetric or transitive or not. And so for that, what we do is, for reflexive property, again the same example will satisfy this condition, that is, half is a real number but half is not related to itself, since half is not less than half cube. Okay, for symmetric, let us take two numbers half and 1, which are both real numbers, such that half is less than 1 cube. Half is less than 1 cube, but the reverse is not true, that is, 1 is not less than half cube, since 1 is not less than 1 by 8, and so it is not symmetric. We have found a counter example that 1 2 belong half comma 1 belongs to the relation, but 1 comma half does not belong to this relation, and so it is not symmetric. Now similarly for transitive, we have to look for a counter example. So let us take the numbers 9, 3, 2, which are such that 9 is related to 3, 3 is related to 2, but 9 is not related to 2, as you can clearly see that 9 is less than 3 cube, 3 is less than 2 cube, but 9 is not less than 2 cube, and so this relation is also neither reflexive nor symmetric nor transitive. In this on the same lines, you can try out all the related problems and even the rest of the questions of exercise 1.1. Thank you.